Okay, my beautiful friends, here we go. Post-market wrap-up on this absolutely, I was going to say lovely, but more like a freak show of a day. And the freaks came out. Lots of freaks today. We're going to talk about that. November 17, 2022. Let's start off with the first freak, all right? Bullard. Fed President Bullard. Did I say bullshit? Can I even say that on YouTube? Well, I did. Kind of prepping the market a couple of days ago, kind of an interesting narrative admitting that the Federal Reserve raising rates hasn't done a damn thing. I'm paraphrasing here, and he's absolutely right. Inflation continues to rise. I mean, who's the joke on? It's on you and me again. The CPI, the PPI, and every other freaking other combination of letters that they want to use to try to convince you that whatever. I mean, their own data is saying that inflation continues to rise. But this freak here coming out this morning saying, okay, well, let's see. We've been raising rates. It's not working. Let's raise some more. And this, of course, set the market off this morning deep in the red. Like I said, I want to know who's making money here, people. Why isn't anyone talking about this? I mean, a Federal Reserve president has the power to move the markets. All they got to do is open up their freaking pie hole, spew something out, and the market moves one way or the other, and they know which way it's going to move. Do you believe for a nanosecond, you know how I like that Fed President Bullard, bullshitter, didn't realize that his statement was going to cause the market to drop at the open? I want to know who went short last night prior to the market close. It would have to be someone with a big account, maybe overseas or something like that, realizing that the S&P 500 would open substantially lower, pull out those profits, and funnel that shit right over to Bullard and whoever else wants to get in on this. This is what they do. This is a game that they play. And whose interest do they have in mind? Fed presidents again? Yours? Mine? How about no? As a matter of fact, let's talk about the Federal Reserve in aggregate. What is their mandate? Price stability? How about prices are anything but stable? What do we find out today? Home values continue to crater. Okay, I'm going to talk more about that in a minute. And the Federal Reserve just yesterday put out their study. Yeah, the study that projects that from where we are now, home prices are going to drop another 20%. And that's if, look, that's probably a best case scenario here. If we get a meltdown here in this debt market, assets across the board, except for those that are so grossly undervalued that you can't possibly imagine. And I'm talking, maybe you could if you follow this blog, physical assets, gold, silver, commodities are going to skyrocket. But the market, the stock market, Dow 3000 is a possibility. There's no doubt about it. The biggest wealth transfer in the history of the world is going to occur. The financial system is going, as we know it, is going to end. And I think we all know about that here. But anyway, so that's the story. It's all over the freaking mainstream. Oh, what else is about the mainstream today? The yield curve. Oh, the yield curve is the most inverted it's ever been. Oh, is that a bad economic sign? Is that a bad economic sign? Yeah. Every time we've seen this, the economy ends up going into free fall. And like, as you all know, if you follow this blog, people, don't take Greg Mannarino's word for this. Just let your fingers do the walking. Open up some search engine. Look up forward-looking economic indicators. All of them. Every one is pointing lower. And now we have the whole yield curve screaming at us as well that things are turning into dog shit, rat shit, reptile shit, and every other kind of shit you can think about. But no, we're doing so well. Our economy is strong. You know it is. You know how you can know that? You know that's true because, let's see, Mummy Man, Mummy Man says it is. Oh, I guess, inflation is moderating according to, what was her name again? What do we decide to call her? Lael Brain Turd? Look, they think we're stupid, but we're not stupid, you and me, period, the freaking end. And things are not good, and things are going to get exponentially worse. There's no way out of it. If you believe for a nanosecond that just by some miracle that the Federal Reserve's actions are going to work. Their current ones of raising rates, and all it's doing is destroying demand, crushing the economy, and crushing the people with it. Oh, miraculously, it's going to turn around, and everything's just going to be just lovely. Utopia. It's going to be perfect for everybody. Oh, how about absolutely freaking not? You know that already, people. Anyway, but my biggest question is who's making money off of these Federal Reserve president calls. They have been caught red-handed insider trading, and all they do, they get to apologize and they get to resign with millions of dollars in illegally obtained funds. Well, you and I, we get left holding a bag of hot, steamy dog shit. Think about it. Anyway, so Bullard's comments did send this market on a roller coaster ride. We finished down, nothing major. 10-year yield relatively stable today, a little knee-jerk higher in the dollar. Crude oil got hit pretty good. Bitcoin, cryptos in aggregate put on a little gain. Gold and silver especially got hit today. All right, look, it's all well and good and it's perfect and it's beautiful to talk about. But you and I are not going to deviate from our plan, betting against the debt, becoming our own central bank. And I want to talk more about that. So the Federal Reserve is already setting the groundwork here. And they started this weeks back talking about financial stability. Well, we got a little tidbit of information here, and the Federal Reserve, they're raising questions about financial stability, basically setting the stage to vastly inflate yet again. Now look, you know how this works. Without inflating the debt every single day, it can't ever stop. Without politicians working with central bankers to find reasons and create reasons out of thin air magically to pull cash into the now, for example, like funding and expanding wars around the world, lodging a ship in a canal here, warp speed vaccines, whatever they have to do to throw money at it to inflate the debt, well, that's what they're going to do. I think it's pretty obvious. So they're setting the stage for this right now. And I can only imagine what they have up their sleeve. And this issue with crude oil, that should scare you. It scares me. Whenever you see crude fall like this, well, you know, a refinery blows up, people die, terrorist attack, a tanker gets wedged in the canal. Make any of this stuff up. I dare you to. Anyway, with that, I also want to bring this up. So you and I already have discussed right here how central banks are already setting the stage for backing off with regard to raising rates moving forward, regardless of what came out of the mouth of Bullard, talking about a 7% terminal rate. He's smoking crack, okay, if he thinks we're going to get to a 7% terminal rate. They're going to stop soon. I believe sincerely, European central banks, who's already saying this, that they're talking about possibly slowing the pace of rate hikes moving forward. Of course, it's going to happen. Doesn't mean they're not going to stop inflating. They're going to continue to inflate. Watch what's going to happen. And I urge you to do this. Watch what's going to happen to the global money supply. It's going to balloon, and then on top of that, balloon even more. So that's the way this is going to play out. Federal Reserve, ECB, they always work in tandem, but they don't coordinate. You know they don't coordinate because Federal Reserve piece of shit, Yellowstain himself said, oh, they talk. Oh, they do talk, central bankers, but they don't coordinate. They don't. Anyway, so that's that story here. Now let me just go back to this here real quick. So we found out again that, I mean, this is no surprise. Home values are diving. They're nosediving. I talked about this earlier in this video blog here, and the Fed is projecting they're going to fall a lot more. Just to put a little perspective on this, my own home here, at the peak of the market was worth $841,000. Today it's worth $750,000. That's a pretty substantial drop, and I am sure it's going to drop further from here. And home builders, by the way, just to play off of that, they got hammered today. Did you watch home builders today? Why? Because, well, they're having to lower prices here. And mortgage applications are basically non-existent anymore. You want to ask somebody about that? Ask Chuck Barone. He's the guy. He's the real estate guy. You all know Chuck Barone. If you follow this blog, go check Chuck out. he knows where it's at, and he's gonna tell you the truth here, people. Anyway, it's just too stupid. What else did I want to talk about here with you? I'm pretty much covered what I wanted to cover. So what do you think about all this, honestly? The Federal Reserve setting the stage to inflate even further. Does that surprise you? How many of you here are even the slightest bit shocked that the Federal Reserve is setting the stage here? And they're going to, believe me, with whatever freak they want to put behind the Resolute desk, and they're just a figurehead. They don't matter at all. I'm telling you the truth. You don't want to believe me? Well, you should. They could put a freaking statue of, I don't know, whatever they want behind the Resolute desk, some inanimate object, and it would be the same thing as if they put Biden, Stein, or any other freak behind there, okay? It's the central banks that run the show. Everything else is bullshit. Everything else is just some kind of distraction mechanism. But the Federal Reserve is going to work with whatever statue, figurehead, whatever they want to put over there to fleece the people even more. And that is going to happen, because without that mechanism, what happens? Look, if we had a real leader, just one, that would call out central banks for what they're doing and explain to the people that we got to do something about this debt-based economic model. We got to eliminate central banks. We got to take back the system. Until we do that, nothing else matters. We're just done. You understand? I hope you really do that. With regard to voting for this person and voting for that, really, how about we vote to end central banking and take back the system? Without doing that, it doesn't matter who you vote for. It doesn't matter who sits behind the Resolute desk, because they run the system. Do you understand? I hope you do. I really wonder how many of you actually get it out here. Anyway, look, don't be surprised by any of this crap. It's just going to get worse. And don't take my word for it. Just look at leading economic indicators. Look at this yield curve that's the most inverted in history. Things are going to get a lot worse for you. All of us here. Anyway, that's the situation here, people. Look, this guy here loves you a lot. I mean that. Please comment here, share the video, get it out there. I will see you in the morning.